Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation with one of our incredible speakers from the Women Thrive Summit. If you're joining us live right now, please leave a comment below. Let us know where you're joining us from. And today's guest is Krystal Jugarap. Hi, Krystal. How are you?
Hey Ray, I am good, and you did an amazing job pronouncing my last name. You knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
I
thank
am
you.
so glad to be here today, so thank you for having me.
I said it and I was like, I hope I got it right. I hope it came out right.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Where are you joining us from, Krystal?
I am in the Bay Area in California, a little town called Hercules.
Amazing. Wow. It's so cool that we get to connect with ladies from all around the world, and our speakers are so diverse and, with different experiences and insights. And today we're actually talking about community, how its purpose, power, and how to build it from scratch. So we have the perfect guest actually for this topic today because she truly has the mission and the purpose behind her community that she's grown. So Krystal is the founder of Book of Bijou and Empowered by Women, working with with female small business owners to expand their audience and build a genuine community by offering multiple platforms for them to share their voice, be seen, and find opportunities for collaborations. So, Krystal, how did you get started in doing all of this? I mean, what you built is quite incredible, and I know you have big mission behind it. So, how did you get started?
Yes, thank you. It kind of all trickles down to when I was a kid, and I grew up in a very creative household. And it was by the time I was in high school, I knew I was going to somehow become an entrepreneur. But back in the day, I was still very much in this people pleasing mindset, right? I was just doing whatever it was expected for me to be done by laid out by society, by my parents, very traditional, all of that. And then I had sold jewelry for quite a while. And when I became a first time mom in 2018, I had just amassed so much of it. And it was really overtaking my shelf. And any moms out there, we know that shelf space is so incredibly valuable. So I needed to do something to kind of tuck it away, but I couldn't find any solution online. So, coming from a very creative household, and being very much into DIYs and all of that, I was like, I'm just going to make my own jewelry organizer. It was really
Wow.
just going to be for myself. But then the more I brainstormed it, the more I realized the merit of the design. And I was like, okay, I think there's something here. I think all of my little entrepreneurial itches and my creative endeavors have led me to this particular business. So that night, I was like, all right, we're doing it. We're going to launch a business. And the next morning, I hit the ground running. I made like a prototype out of an empty diaper box, an old notebook, rubber bands, a bunch of things. And launching that product line, it also made me reminisce about the community that I did have when I was selling jewelry. And I
Wow.
wanted to recreate that. So we went into the business, the product line business, knowing, okay, I want to be one that supports other businesses. But then I also wanted to really create this space where you can just indulge in that kind of energy and ambition and spirit on a daily basis. And that's how Empowered by Women was formed. So our community platform launched just a few months after launching Book of Bijou. And it's been a really amazing journey so far. The community that we've been able to attract and continue to build really just fills me up so much.
Oh, wow. That's so amazing to hear. Kind of really from the starting point, from the vision. And most times as entrepreneurs, I think we try to always solve a problem for ourselves. And then we end up with this beautiful business that actually serves so many other people.
Mhm.
And it's interesting that you wanted to build a community around it. So tell me a little bit more about what does your community do, who it's for. And I know you do some epic stuff there in person as well.
Yeah, so when I first started Empowered by Women, that was the beginning of 2022. It's gotten to the point where I'm starting to like lose track of time. But I didn't really even know what it was going to look like. I just knew the energy that I wanted to create,
Yeah.
right? The energy that I wanted to circulate between me and other women like me, like-minded women that had big dreams and weren't afraid to chase after them. So what started as simple as I just want to know people and have this circle of this network of entrepreneurs because I didn't already have that.
Mm.
I really wanted to foster even more genuine connections, right? So a lot of small businesses are on social media, and of course you're liking and following each other, but you don't actually know the person. And I wanted to get to know these people. I
Mhm.
wanted to have genuine relationships. So I would start by, just doing joint giveaways. And then I said, you know what? I want to know your story a little bit more. And that's how our podcast formed, where I could actually have longer conversations with these women virtually face to face. And then it came to the point where I was like, we need to do more. How do I get these people in front of me, like in person? And that's how our market started. So we had our very first in person market in May of 2022. And that was really what put our community on the map. And being able to actually be surrounded by all of these women in person, doing all of these amazing things that they're so passionate about.
Mm.
And I got to bring my two daughters with me so that they could also see all of these amazing women doing all of these incredible things that some people might not consider very traditional, right? A little bit outside of the box, a lot more creative. I was like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to continue doing. And I continued those relationships with these women. And I continued to hear them out and say, what is it that you want? What is it that you need? And people wanted that same energy and that same community that I wanted for myself. So we really leaned into that. And the following year, we hosted 8, 9, 10 more markets. We launched our woman owned small business directory online so we can help increase the visibility of all of our women owned brands in our community. We are soon to be launching a pop-up program, which I just announced on our social media feed to make it easier to connect our vendor community with bigger businesses and make it more accessible, more efficient. And it really is just about creating community in a genuine and authentic way. I know community is such a buzzword, but I truly feel like our community is so incredibly aligned and the energy just keeps on flowing and it really is unmatched.
Yeah, I love that. So it's so nice to see when you find your own tribe of people who share the same values, the same passion. Because being an entrepreneur, I know from experience, is not an easy thing. So today we're talking about how to build a community. Where could one begin if they're starting to think about, hey, I really want to build a thriving community around my own business and bring their audience together for the ride. Where does one begin?
I think it really starts with getting clarity on what it is that you want and who it is that you are. I think a big part of it is self-awareness and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. At the end of the day, people connect with people, right? People might, surface level connect with brands. They like the branding, they like the product, but people really stay loyal to other people and they fall in love with that energy with the person behind the brand. So I think if you're in the very early stages and you're thinking about starting a business, make sure you're choosing something that you're truly passionate about
Yeah.
so that will very naturally shine through. And when you're allowing that to naturally shine through, people will naturally be attracted to what it is that you're saying because they can see how authentic you are. It was very, very early in my journey where it felt like the lowest low in my business. We were dealing with a bunch of things with manufacturing. And it was in that moment I knew that I had to make a decision of how I was going to lead my business, right? Was I going to be one of those just beautiful brands, just showing all of these pretty pictures and it looks like I've been an overnight success? Or was I going to be very transparent? I really wanted to create a journey that people can come along with me, that they could be a part of it. They could be a part of our story. And so it was in that moment I decided, you know what? I'm just going to lay it all out there. I'm going to be a leader that leads with transparency and
Yeah.
integrity and vulnerability. And of course, it was scary to have to show up like that and to have to own up to it's not going the way that I thought it would be. And I'm sorry. And then, like, it sucks. And I'm disappointed that I can't fulfill whatever it is that I promised that I would fulfill to you in this moment. But something really magical happened in that moment as well. When I did show up very vulnerable, people that I hadn't even connected with yet started messaging me and saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, I totally know what you're feeling. I've been there. Let me know if you need anything." Let me know if you need anything. People were offering to help and be a resource and to be a shoulder to lean on, even though we didn't even know each other yet. And it made me realize there really are people out there that can be a part of this journey with you. And it solidified that idea in my mind that entrepreneurship does not have to be lonely. You do not have to do everything yourself. You do not have to feel like you have to battle every obstacle on your own. And that point forward, I continue to show up and I continue to say, you know what? Me being real, that allowed me to make all of these amazing connections that I still have to this day. And I'm going to keep on doing that because I recognize that the more I show up and the more I'm just like, I don't believe in hustling in silence. I believe in telling the universe my biggest dreams and letting other people get excited about those dreams so they can be a part of it with me, because together we can move mountains. Together, the momentum really, really starts building. You can have amazing visions and dreams, but when you allow people in on those visions and dreams, and when you're sharing it with people, with the right people, that amplifies your message so much more.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you touched on the authenticity part because a lot of the times we go through our own struggles, not realizing there are other people that also have the same struggles. And as you say, when you share it, especially with your closer community, the chances are there are people going to say, "Hey, me too. And I have the same issue." And then you open conversations, you open the doors for people to be vulnerable, to be honest, and also to find solutions. And I think that is the key of creating beautiful communities like yours and ours, that we foster those relationships, and the community can really support each other. And I think that's the key, that we don't have to do it all on our own, because I think if you have the right mission and the right heart, there are people who's going to get behind your mission as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that element of storytelling that really changes the game, right? Allowing yourself to step into the spotlight and share a little bit about yourself and why you're doing what you're doing, because that allows people to get to know you more and fall in love with you. And I know it's really daunting for some people to say, "Oh, I don't want my face to be there, or I don't even know what to say. I don't want to be on an IG live for 30 minutes. Like, that's too much." Start small. Share little things, even if you're just starting and you're just sharing like little bits of your story in the caption of static photos that don't even show your face. You're starting to open up a little bit more and a little bit more, and then it gets a little bit easier. And then one day you're going to be like, "Okay, why don't I just hop on my IG stories and then share a little bit more?" And then you keep that momentum building. You don't have to have the confidence to start. That confidence will come.
Yeah.
And with that, your community.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because when I started, our initially it was called Women in Business on Instagram, and I would just post beautiful pictures. And it's taken me maybe 3.5 months before I posted my own picture. And I remember that was a big moment for me to put my own face there. And I was like, wow, like this is a big leap. We nearly got to like 8,000 followers, I think, before my followers knew who I was behind the brand. And that was so wild. Like, oh my goodness. But then, storytelling, that's what I was doing a lot, just connecting with people, with the brand, with the mission, and connecting around the same issues that I think people have. What were some of the challenges you faced? Because you've got obviously community that you build, but also a product. So there's two very different businesses. What were some of the challenges that you can say, wow, that was something that I had to really overcome in the process of building your business?
Well, we're definitely still going through quite a few challenges with our manufacturing. If whoever is watching, if you take a look at our product line, well, I feel like it is not that complicated to execute, but apparently our manufacturers have proved me wrong. So that has been a very, very bumpy ride. That was my first experience with manufacturing, and I've learned to kind of navigate it along the way, but there's definitely still kinks that we're trying to work out. But I think a lot that I've learned has been with how to reframe your perspective, right? There was a time, you know, it was that very first moment in our manufacturing journey where I realized they weren't going to be able to commit to what they said they were going to commit to. And it felt like, oh my gosh, I already failed, right? And I almost had a mental breakdown. And it was so early in my journey. But then in that same day, my daughters were also sick. And I felt like I was going to mentally break down. I was thinking about my business. Oh my gosh, everything is going wrong. I have to tell people that everything is going wrong. And then my daughter came up to me and she was coughing and not feeling good. And in that moment, I just completely stopped thinking about the business. Everything else with the business became trivial. And I was just thinking about my daughter. And it made me realize and remember my why. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to figure it out. I've always been a problem solver. And I knew part of my mindset going into my journey, I made sure to tell myself one day, everything is going to feel like it's going to, I'm not going to curse, but like it's going wrong, right? I expected that to happen. So that way, when it did happen, I wouldn't feel like, okay, it's the end of the world. I would know that, okay, we just need to figure out how to keep moving forward. So it allowed me to put that into practice, right? To put that problem solving mindset into practice, that it's not the end of the world. We just need to figure out how to navigate around it and keep moving forward. And that's what we're still doing with our product line. It also, go ahead.
I think it really builds resilience, isn't it? When you are faced with challenges, it helps you build that resilience and problem solve as well.
Yeah. And then it also allowed me to see how great I was at seeing the silver lining in things. Because while I was all of a sudden just stuck in this waiting period with our manufacturing, instead of just twiddling my thumbs, like playing the victim, I was like, okay, let's use this time to really lean into this community that I want to build. And it was because of that time that I was able to launch Empowered by Women, because I was able to focus on that while still trying to work out the kinks whenever I could with manufacturing. And then another biggest learning lesson was really having grace with myself as a parent that is still working a full-time job, that is trying to build these businesses. It's a lot and it's difficult, but again, I know what my why is. And when something is really important to you, you show up for it. So there was a lot of learning lessons in that aspect of knowing how to communicate with my girls, with my partner about what it is that I'm doing, why I do have to step away, and then also recognizing that it's not selfish for me to want something for myself, and to realize that allowing myself to do something for me that feels good to me, that fills my cup and allows me to come back and be an even better mother, an even better partner, to show up for my family, to show up for my community, and allow my girls to see that, right? The impact that I'm making, that even though at first it feels like it feels a little selfish, when you allow yourself to step into that, you make an impact that's so much more bigger than yourself. And for my girls to have that kind of living role model, that they are also worthy of just creating a life that they love and doing whatever that they want. I think that's so profound, and that's what keeps me pushing.
Amazing. That's just so beautiful that you bring your family along for the ride. And yeah, it's not easy. You're going to face some challenges. But I think that's the fun part of the entrepreneurial journey that we all embark on, and it just comes with it. You gotta expect that some things are going to go wrong, and not everything, not at all times, is going to be perfect. But that's where the deepest learnings come from, and you just shared really golden nuggets there, in how to overcome and how to deal with family matters in building your own business. 'Cause there's a lot of dynamics, and we women tend to wear many, many hats, and I know you wear certainly a lot of hats in your business and personal life as well.
Absolutely. It's so important to just have grace with yourself and to recognize that you're still worthy of creating the life you want, and that you're more than just a mom. I definitely have an affinity for my mompreneurs, because I know the struggle it takes to get to the point where you're comfortable trying to juggle both, because it's hard, it's tough.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. So, Crystal, for someone who feels inspired right now, they like, I want to get to know you a little bit more. What are the best ways to connect with you?
Absolutely. I'm very active on Instagram. So Instagram.com. And then our handle is Empowered by Women, women spelled WMN. So I'm constantly showing up on our IG stories there. I love chatting with people via DMs. I don't know if I post very frequently, but I'm very active on there. And then, of course, our websites where we have our online women owned small business directory, Empowered by Women, again, women spelled WMN.com. You can check out all of the incredible women owned brands and businesses that we have on there. You can learn about how to become a member of our community. And then we also do have a free checklist, which is a way that you can self audit your Instagram and your website to make sure that you're really leveraging those platforms and taking what could seem like very surface level relationships and really figuring out ways to continue nurturing it, right? To turn it into genuine and authentic relationships and really work towards that place of collaboration or whatever it is that you want to create within your own community. So that's also on our website, empoweredbywomen.com/free checklist.
Amazing. And I just dropped in a chat. So if any of you are interested in connecting with Crystal, as well as grabbing her free gift, make sure that you grab it here. And certainly it's so worth taking advantage of these amazing opportunities that we're bringing to connect with these amazing, inspirational women who are doing incredible things. You never know, they might open the doors for you to the next opportunity, the next connection. It's just one thing, that maybe that you have just said today that gave someone the aha moment to then pursue something of their own or be part of communities and really get access to the support, because there's so much support in what you're doing. I just have to applaud it because, there aren't so many communities like that do what you do. So it's really amazing to see your work in this world.
Thank you, Ray. And I have to throw that compliment back at you, okay? Because when I first learned of Women Thrive Media and the Women Thrive Summit, I really wanted to just expand my speaking, right? But then when I had that first interview with you and that first call with you, I really fell in love with you. I mean, we've been talking this whole time about falling in love with the person behind the brand, and I really fell in love with you and your mission, and I felt your passion and your authenticity and what your mission was. And I felt really aligned with that. So I am so appreciative of the platform that you've created and how much you continue to work to empower other women as well, but on a global scale, which is incredible. So thank you.
I appreciate that. It's humbly received. We do what we do, and sometimes, life gets busy in doing all of that, and you can forget that, there is so much impact that you can have, and it's humbling to bring together so many amazing women who speak on our platform, who trust our platform, so many people who watch these lives, read our magazine, get involved in our events and community. And I know I've seen it firsthand, just the massive transformation that people have. So I want to invite our audience, if they're watching this right now, not only to connect with Crystal and follow her and connect with her community, but join our Women Thrive Summit. So our Women Thrive Summit is our annual women empowerment event that happens every third week in March. And this year is happening between the 18th to the 22nd of March. And this is your opportunity to be part of our community, to be part of this incredible live event that we're doing. And it's virtual, so that means you get to join it from anywhere in the world. And Crystal will be talking about building your own community with purpose, power, and you can do it from scratch. Whether you're just starting out in business, whether you're already in business and thinking that you want a community, this is the perfect place to get started. So make sure you register yourself at womenthrivesummit.com. We have more than 50 amazing speakers from all around the world, incredible businesses, lots of knowledge, lots of experience that they're going to be sharing with you. And sometimes you just need that one little seed to be planted in you to then take that to the next level. So make sure you join us. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Crystal, any last parting thoughts before we go?
Just that you are also worthy of everything that you want in life. So don't be afraid to get started and recognize the power of just showing up and
Yeah.
start building that momentum.
Yeah, that's it. Just show up, be there, support others, connect with those communities because there are so many opportunities, especially this year. I think we're all really uniting to bring others along with us for the journey. So make sure you connect with us as well as Krystal and her community. So we look forward to seeing you there. And Krystal, thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you at the summit.
Thank you again, Ray, and thanks for everyone that's tuning in.
Appreciate it. Make sure you share this live as well with your audience because you never know who might be wanting to watch this, needing to watch this right now. And we look forward to seeing you on another live. Take care for now. Bye bye.